students, I hope you are doing well. Today in this video, let's go on and explore the forest with the help of the lesson. Forest, a lifeline, part 2, a trip to the forest. Learning objectives. We are going to concentrate on the following aspects. Products obtained from the forest. Kinds of trees in the forest. Types of organisms and animals seen in the forest. Food chain. Role of plants in the forest. Role of scavengers in recycling the waste in the forest. Role of forest canopy. Steps to conserve forest. Keywords: canopy, crown, decomposers, humus, regeneration, seed dispersal, understory. Concept map. Forests serve as green lungs and water purifying systems in nature. An excessive area of land covered by a variety of plants is called the forest. About 30% of the total land of the world is covered by forests. Animals like boar, bison, jackals, porcupines, and elephants live in the deeper areas of the forest. Forest provides a home for many animals and plants. The land is uneven and covered with many trees. The trees are sal, teak, semel, shisham, neem, palash, fig, kair, amla, bamboo and kachnar. Out of that, the forest has several other trees, shrubs, herbs and grasses. The forest floor is dark colored and is covered with dead and decaying matter, which keeps the place moist and warm, called humus. The decaying matter is like the leaves, fruits, seeds, twigs, small herbs and different types of creepers and climbers. The sun will barely be visible through the trees, making it quite dark inside the forest. Many more things such as plywood, fuel wood, boxes, paper, gum, oils, spices, animal fodder, medicinal plants, raisins, rubber, honey, fruits, and matchsticks. These are all obtained from forests. Nature trees produce enough seeds. The forest floor provides favorable conditions for them to germinate and develop into seedlings and saplings. Some grow up into trees. The branchy part of a tree above the stem is known as the crown of the tree. Trees such as eucalyptus and bamboo can be grown in a village for social forestry. Eucalyptus is a tall evergreen tree that normally attains a height of more than 300 feet. Trees have crowns of different types and sizes, which create different horizontal layers in the forest, known as understories. Giant and tall trees constituted the top layers, followed by shrubs, tall grasses and herbs, which form the lowest layer. Due to different climatic conditions, there are variations in the types of trees and other plants. The types of animals also differ from forest to forest. We could see beautiful butterflies fluttering on the flowers of shrubs and herbs. We also come across numerous insects, spiders, squirrels, ants, and various other small animals on the bark of the trees, plant leaves, and decaying leaves on the forest floor. In the forest, organisms that feed on plants often get eaten by other organisms, and so on. For example, grass is eaten by insects, which in turn is taken by the frog. The frog is consumed by snakes. This is said to form a food chain. Grass is eaten by insects. Insects are eaten by frogs. Frogs are eaten by snakes. Snakes are eaten by eagles. Many food chains can be found in the forest. All food chains are linked and we call it as food web. If any food chain is disturbed, it affects other food chains. For example, every part of the forest is dependent on the other parts. If we remove one component, say trees, all other components would be affected. If we pick up leaves from the forest floor and observe them under a hand lens, we find tiny mushrooms over the decaying leaves. We also see an army of tiny insects, millipedes, ants, and beetles on them. We may wonder how these organisms live there. The microorganisms which convert the dead plants and animals to humus are known as decomposers. These microorganisms play an important role in the forest. So, the presence of humus ensures that the roots of living plants again absorb the nutrients. If an animal dies in the forest, the dead animals become the food for vultures, crows, jackals, and insects. In this way, the nutrients are cycled. So, nothing goes to waste in a forest. Plants release oxygen through the process of photosynthesis. The plants help to provide oxygen for animal respiration. They also maintain the balance of oxygen and carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. That is why forests are called green lungs. Trees take in water from their roots and release water vapor into the air through evaporation. If there were fewer trees, how would the water cycle be affected? The dense bushes and tall grass provide animals with food and shelter. They also protect them from carnivores that live in the forest. We could find various types of droppings in the forest. Forest officers could recognize the presence of some animals in the forest by their droppings and footprints. In many places, we see a large decaying heap of animals dropping. Several beetles and grubs will be feeding on the heap, and a bunch of seedlings will sprout. These seedlings are of the herbs and shrubs. The animal also disperse the seeds of certain plants and help the forest to grow and regenerate. The decaying animal dung also provides nutrients for the seedlings to grow. In the forest, when it rains, the raindrops will not hit the forest floor directly. The uppermost layer of the forest canopy intercepted the flow of raindrops, and most of the water was coming down through the branches and stems of the trees. From the trees, it would drip slowly over branches of the shrubs and herbs. Though the layer of dead leaves over the forest floor appears wet, the water will not be stagnated in the forest. The forest acts as a natural absorber of rainwater and allows it to seep. It helps maintain the water table throughout the year. Forests not only help in controlling floods, but also help maintain the flow of water in the streams so that we get a steady supply of water. On the other hand, if trees are not present, rain hits the ground directly and may flood the area around it. Heavy rains may also damage the soil. Roots of trees normally bind the soil together, but in their absence, the soil is washed away or eroded. The weather in the nearby villages will be quite pleasant. Due to the surrounding forest, they receive good rainfall. The air also remains cool. Noise pollution too is less because the forest absorbs the noise of the nearby highway. The villages and the agriculture fields of that area were created after clearing the forest about 60 years ago. Construction of roads, buildings, industrial development and increasing demand for wood created pressure on the forest and it started vanishing. The forest adjoining their village is not regenerating and is on the verge of disappearing due to overgrazing of animals and indiscriminate felling of trees. If we do things wisely, we could preserve forests and the environment as well as have development. How to conserve forests? Productive functions of the forest. Points to remember. Forests provide us with oxygen. They protect soil and provide habitat to a large number of animals. Forests help bring good rainfall to neighboring areas. They are a source of medicinal plants, timber, and many other useful products. In the absence of trees and plants, the animal will not get food and shelter, and even the earth's temperature increases. In the absence of trees, the soil will not hold water, which will cause floods. We get various products from the forest surrounding us. In a forest, trees form the uppermost layer followed by shrubs. The herbs form the lowest layer of vegetation. The various components of the forest are interdependent on one another. In the forest, there is an interaction between soil, water, air, and living organisms. Forests are the lifeline for forest-dwelling communities. Forests influence climate, water cycle, and air quality. I hope you all enjoyed the video. For further videos, like, share and subscribe to our channel. Thank you. All the best.